Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 10. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report. We have managed to get to week 10 of 2024, so we have now begun the month of March. Things are looking okay, but we have also been hit by quite a few things in this particular week already. So we have obviously the good news is we have our Pamm account, and the Pamm account here is actually taking off nicely. It has been trading since the 4th of March, so basically a week now. It is taking off. More and more investors are actually coming into that particular account. And we also, during this particular video here, going to show you a bit more exactly of what we are doing, a bit of the technique, even though this is still a news report. Further to this, also there's been a huge development within the gold, so that has reached new all-time high. That has actually put one of our EAs in a bit of trouble. We're going to have a look exactly at which one it is. But first, let's start off with our friends at Yield Notes. Now, last week I also went through the Yield Notes Pro. There were some updates. I also told you there was quite a few updates for Yield Notes. We could not cover everything in one particular week here. But some of the things within the new strategy and the relocation of the resources towards the NFT vulnerabilities has continued also here to basically advise us that the Yield Notes Pro test will be now moved from Q1 to second quarter of 2024. So, and they say this is due to careful consideration and basically making sure that things will be up and running. The additional part here is also some updates and details regarding Decenomy, and you can see more here available for download. And we did that already. You can also do that from the website itself. And one of the things that will come up here is the Enhanced Assets Management Anticipation Yield Notes Pro full launch and its impact on investments. And again, here they are talking about from the summer of 2024, Yield Notes partners will receive enhanced opportunity to manage their deposits. Now, they have discussed that in the past, that we will have, let's say, a first bet regarding these NFTs, if we took them or not. Doesn't mean that everybody else who didn't take them has lost any money so far, at least from what we understand. So everything and everybody is still very much in the same boat. They're also telling here that these expanded possibilities are basically coming in by the end of 2024, early 2025. So already they are looking 1 year ahead. And then they say the complete implementation here of the Yield Notes Pro, which they expect again to revolutionize regarding the returns generated. And obviously we hope so also in the future. There's no doubt about that. Further to this, and what that exactly means, is that the Decenomy and the evaluation of the review on asset providers has already been done from what we understand, or at least is still ongoing. The KYC process for potential asset providers is also ongoing, still for Q1. And then you have the Yield Notes Pro reassurance of NFTs with the resolution and security vulnerabilities. That was an issue, was raised now a couple of months ago. And they have also come out and said, okay, that is in place again. And then the last part here, ensuring the NFTs are once again fully tradable and restoring their trading capabilities. That is basically the number of the game and what is actually going to happen. So in the next couple of months. Now for Q2, there's also the Decenomy part, the introduction of listing mechanisms for integrating the new assets into Decenomy. There's contract creations also with the asset providers, so basically the ones that are putting their business in there where they will have a certain flow of individual coins, incorporation of additional asset providers, and then they're also talking about structure of a think tank to try and set up and implement this. And the second part is the Yield Notes Pro, development on the first version of the Yield Notes Pro, and then the release of the first test of the Yield Notes Pro, which hopefully we will all look very much forward to by the end of Q2. But until then, let's have a look at SAP just to see how the development has been for the past week. Last week when we actually left it here, it was around the 000 and then 15 or 16, right about there where you see the circle. Since then, things has been trading slightly sideways, but then again, if you look at the eventual price it came out at this particular week, we are down by 0.60 and then 1.2. So still not going in the right direction at all. And obviously until maybe Q2, we can start and see some more movements. Movements is not something that we have a lot of either on the staking side at the moment. The last time we actually got anything in at all was on the 18th of February. You can see that was 280 SAP. Since then, there's nothing much has happened. You can see March we haven't gotten anything in. February we got about 560, and January was a lot better with 1120 SAP. So it is a bit lean at the moment, definitely. And if we have a look at the PNY, we saw that it has also been quite a few weeks. This was the week of February, so basically 2 weeks in between from the 23rd of February now until the 7th of March. But again, only one-time staking has been reached of 133 PNY. And having a look at the overall statistics for March, it's only the one time here. And then for February, we have just over 600. And January was also better. So definitely things are going in the wrong direction at the moment, also on this particular coin, where we only made 0.8% or the 133 PNY for this particular week. Much better has it gone if you have invested in Bitcoin versus the USD. Now, when we left Bitcoin last week, we left it just around the 61,800 mark. Since then, it was actually shooting up, ending up very, very close to 69,000. It did a dip and then it actually came back in just to have another dump down to 59,000. So way below where we were last week, and since then actually recovered again, trading a bit of sideways, but a new all-time high we have in here, 69,990. So this is from Binance, where we have taken those particular numbers from, and at the moment it's trading around $68,202. And obviously by the time the video comes out, things have changed again. Things hasn't changed too much when it comes on to the Trillant news. It's actually quite lean and quite confusing news that is coming out of Trillant here lately. They only had this particular post regarding social media, where it says, many of you have already noticed, we have temporarily suspended our social media activity so as not to affect the ongoing audit. This does not mean that we are no longer there. Relevant messages will still be answered. However, refrain from asking questions about the ongoing audit by social media. We will send all important information exclusively by the newsletter, and thank you very much for the trust and support. Now, the only thing I can think of why they would have suspended this, because normally when you have audits, and I have certainly had my share of those, both in the aviation industry, but also in the financial industry here, and we don't really stop any social media or anything else. The only thing I can think of is that there is so many questions, there are so many people that have negative posts in there, and that's the reason why they are trying to limit the exposure at the moment on the platform itself. But again, this is only my best guess at the moment. I don't have to guess. If I come to CoinStore, I can see the tree value for that particular coin in here. So this is not the stable coin, this is the one that actually fluctuates. And in here you can see that last week we left it at 0.0001906, and after that things went pretty sideways. Also here we had a similar dump, also similar to Bitcoin, and then after that it has unfortunately not gone up similar to Bitcoin, but again trading more or less sideways and coming out very close to where we were last week, so at 0.0001841. Now, the other part that has also disappointed a bit this particular week is the money tree. On the low risk one, that one account is in drawdown at the moment, means it hasn't done any trading whatsoever, so basically runs at zero. The medium risk account, also here hardly any trading closed. There is, however, no drawdowns of significance in here. $35 only, or 0.7% for the medium risk account, and then the high risk one only at $39 or 1.1%. So not really something to cheer about this particular week on the money tree. So we're not really going to go and have a closer look at the accounts. It's not really necessary with these small amounts. What we will have a look at is the profit retriever for week 10. The top 5 EAs have actually been doing quite well compared to last week. And in here we can see the silver is on top with $779 or 7.8%. FTSE 100, which seems to be doing quite well all the time, $319 or 3.2%. Then the first Forex pair, Euro AUD, $220 or 2.2%. US CAD with $217 or 2.2%. And then last but not least of the top 5, Euro Japanese, $185 or 1.8%. So if you would have traded those top 5 EAs for this last week, you would have made $1,719 or 3.4%. And that is definitely not too bad. However, there is one account, and we mentioned that also in the introduction here, that has actually blown, and that is due to the gold and the gold development price. So if we go and have a look at the graph, how exactly that has developed, you'll see in here that we have back in December 2023, you can see a lot of different tradings that has been happening. You can see things has been going up and down. And then basically as it comes over here, this was end of last week, it put in a new sales. You can see the trend was actually that things were going down, but it was basically reversed, and all of a sudden the price of the gold has taken off and new all-time highs, and what is normally opposite the gold is the US dollar. Now obviously this looks quite dramatic, and it actually is. So if we go out and look at the all-time high, this particular graph goes back to 2017. So if you start on the bottom left, you can see the development of the gold. So back in 2018, things really started to move forward again and ended up back then at that all-time high at just short of 2000 and about 50 or 55. And then it has been moving sort of sideways in a zigzag pattern again here with a couple of other peaks for all-time highs. But have a look here at the recent one, so which seems to be outperforming anything else. It didn't punch up there and come down very quickly again. Basically it had quite a few weeks where things has been going higher and higher. So at that particular point, as we took the picture, you can see this was at 21.78, and I believe the top gold at somewhere just around the 21.95 or maybe 98, somewhere around there. So that is the reason why this particular account simply couldn't cope with that much of movement in the wrong direction. Now our portfolio, it obviously took a hit in here for all the different EAs that we have. And as always, we try to show you everything, both the positive and the negatives. But again, with a portfolio of so many different EAs, it certainly had an impact. But again, it doesn't have an overall impact. So for the longer term, you can see the weekly returns 1.7, monthly returns 7.2, and then the history of this particular one has been 722 days, so quite a long time. The weekly parts that you can see, also the weekly developments, goes all the way back to October 2023, and then forwards. And last week was also a bad week. On the 25th of February here, we managed for the first time to do less than 1,000 in a week. And then this big account blew and gave us a minus 17,000 in here, just for that particular account alone. Now, if we just clean that up and then have a look at it again and saying, okay, what would have happened to the rest of the accounts? You can see that the numbers are not really changing much. Weekly returns 1.7, monthly returns slightly different, 7.3 instead of 7.2. And then obviously history is the same. And you'll see at the end of the day, if you clean it up, you would have made $1,940 in here. So obviously a bit of a blow again for our accounts, but we know, especially with profit retriever, and especially when it comes down to middle and indexes, we have to be much more careful. This account was set up with 10,000 back then. It managed to get into 20, but as you'll also see here on our website, so this is directly from our website on the Profit Retriever, we very clearly also recommend guidelines, both from Expert Forex and ourselves here also, to trade the Profit Retriever with a minimum of 30,000 per account. So for metal and index trading, and then for Forex currency, we normally recommend 20,000. It all depends on your risk strategy. Obviously, you can trade it with less, but there's an even bigger chance that things will go wrong. And obviously also, as you are gathering your account, you are getting money in. So in this particular case, this account was just north of 20,000. You could have taken the 10 out if you would have made 10, and then basically you're back to status quo without any losses at all. And you can obviously go and have a closer look at the individual accounts and see how well they're doing, apart from what we gave you here also on the top 5. Now, if this is too much for you overall, there's always on our website here also a way where you can either trade it yourself and get some good feedback. There's videos in here, and also videos links, so to Expert Forex, how you can set your EAs and your profit retrievers up, or you can go over to the copy link trading, where other traders will actually do this for you. Part of that is also the Trade Explorer, and that's another EA here, where it seems to be doing quite well, but then again, not so well as it did back in December and January. 22 pair 1, only $111 this week, or 1.1%. So another lean week also here. February overall for most of our EAs was actually quite low. 10 pair 1 did $383, so 3.8% for the week. Definitely a lot better. Normally also the 10 pair 1 does do overall better than the 22 pair. So obviously this is also the case for that week. And then let's have a look at the graph. We also get requests all the time. Somebody wants to see the drawdown, somebody wants to see the profits, somebody wants to see other things in here, and we always refer back to our website where you can find these FS Blue links, and you can go in and you can change and look at anything you want. This particular one is the equity. So again, the blue line you have up here is basically the balance. So the balance we have up here that has more than doubled, 20,890. And the red one is then the drawdowns. You can see there's a big one here in the beginning, smaller one, a small little peak here, and a few of them there. But overall, it's behaving quite nicely. And also total returns, 105%, monthly returns 7.5, and weekly returns 1.7. So things are doing quite well. The 10 pair 1 is actually doing just a bit better, but you can also see we had that one time where we lost a bit of money with a heavy drawdown. After that, there has been a few more spikes compared to the other one. So it is a bit more aggressive. It's making more money. And overall total return, we have made 156%. Monthly return has been calculated to 9.9, or weekly returns 2.3. Again, the account is definitely not new. It's about 300 days we are coming up to here now. And you can see all the individual pairs that has been running. So very good and stable EA overall. Talking about stable, we are talking about the Wave Liberator also. So this is for week 10 of the top 5 EAs. Again, these numbers is actually taken from a $10,000 account, but you can actually trade this particular one on a $1,000 account instead. We still don't expect you to do that on individual accounts. If you do on individual accounts, we also suggest you do somewhere around 3,000, because you can see the profits are quite high, or you put them together in a portfolio, which is what we are doing, and I will also show you here today. So the top one for the week is Swiss francs Japanese, $74 or 7.4%. New Zealand Japanese with $49 or 4.9%. And then the Euro Great British Pounds, $39 or 3.9%. Aussie Swiss francs, $32 or 3.2%. And then the US CAD, ending the top 5 with $30 or 4.9%. So if you were to put those 5 signals into an account with $1,000 each, so $5,000 in total, you would have made $224 or 4.5% just for that particular week. So you can see very, very strong results is coming out of the Wave Liberator all the time. That's why we really like it a lot. And as I said, traded in a portfolio. What we have done here is we basically set up 16 EAs on the Wave Liberator, trading all these different currency pairs in here. You can obviously go and see a lot more about it on our website also. But it's set up in such a way that you can actually trade it also for FTMO, means the drawdown is below the required 5% for most FTMO accounts or proprietary trading accounts. And we're doing quite well. Again, the slow and steady approach. At the moment, we have a floating profit at loss of minus $2,182, which is not too bad when you consider that the account consists of 170,000. Close profit has done already 11,700. Plenty of free margins. Margin in use 2,247 in here. And then we can have a look at the total returns, 9.6%, the monthly returns 1.5%. So you can basically use that number and then scale it up to how much percentage you want. As we said, if you now put all of these on a $1,000 account, so it means that you put all the 16 on, let's say, a $15,000 or $16,000 account, you should have a monthly return of 15 or 16% and weekly return of 4%. So again, there is plenty of money to be had with that particular one. You don't have to go that slow. This is only for the proprietary trading. History is more than 200 days here now, so plenty of information, plenty of details is coming out overall. Having a closer look at it again, the same numbers as we saw before. And if we have a look at the net profits, and this is for the month, we can see last month was actually a slow one, and this goes also for all the other EAs, as I mentioned previously, 1,600. But already this week, again, it is up by 500 in here. So definitely looks like it's going in the right direction again. So things are moving forward, things are picking up. Now, obviously, we have launched here recently our Pamm account, and that also means that we have set up a new website in here. You can see more about the Wave Liberator results, the videos, and you can also go and have a look and start it up yourself. The Pamm service is already running, and we also write here that it was launched on the 4th of March. So you can click the button, set up your account with the Black Bull Market today, and then join all the other investors here that is already enjoying the service. And what if you do that, you'll basically see that our Pamm account and the investment amount that we are currently trading has actually surpassed 70,000 already just in the first week. And that obviously means that we continuously have to increase either the lot size, or in our particular case, we are actually adding additional accounts. So as I mentioned before, we have 16 accounts for the Wave Liberator running different currency pairs, and they are set up in such a way that both we have $1,000 accounts, ones that are traded at $10,000 each, and you basically add extra accounts to it every single time there is more money into it. And you can then also increase the lot size, but that is something we have done already behind the scenes. Now, I also showed you in the previous picture here regarding the real account, and we actually put that on the site here also just to show you that we had a real account. We set it up with $10,000. At the moment it's at 14,622. Its history is 97 days in here, and shows you again, you can see there's a floating profit loss right now of minus 800. So definitely Thursday and Friday this week sparked a bit of drawdown for some of the accounts. Other ones was quite fine. And again, that is the perfect way of setting up so many different currency pairs in here that you will not have a drawdown on every single one. Previously, we had some initial starts, and because again, you start off with $10,000, we had 8 accounts, and as the money grows, you also add additional accounts in, and you make some adjustments, and we did that a few times, as you can see, and it's running very, very smoothly now. And again, we have just a small little drawdown in here, but the more accounts you have, the more you also share the burden over that particular account in general. So again, total return 38%, monthly return is 13.2, so you can really sleep at night. It's just ticking over very, very nicely. and weekly returns is 3% with a trade win of 71%. So it's going really, really well. If we have a closer look at the numbers that we have in here, you can see again, same history up here. Let's go back and then just have a quick look. This is the weekly profit we have in here. And last week was a very good week for that particular Wave Liberator, 512. And this particular week we are up by 368. So not too bad at all. If we have a look at the monthly results, we started off with 1200, and then January 1300, February 1500, and now in March, obviously it's still early days. We only had one trading week, and we're up already by 569. And the reason for that, compared to some of the coupling service, is that we, as I mentioned here before, we are actually increasing the lot sizing, we are increasing the accounts. So we are not bound by keeping the lot size the same as we have to do in the coupling service. Here we can continue to compound, continue to escalate as more money comes into the account. We simply load it up with more EAs, or we are increasing the lot size in order to keep the risk at the same level. Now I jumped back and forth just on this here before, and that's because the 16 accounts we are talking about is those 16 in here. You can see the different currency pairs. And again, I mentioned up here that is a low drawdown, feasible to use signals providing on $1,000 accounts. And again, at the end of the day, you can, if you have to trade them individually, so one-on-one accounts, you should do that with a higher number of 3,000. But what we have done is you can take 15 or 16,000 on your account and then put all of them on the same one. You will find 13 of them at the moment. The last 3 down here is not on the coupling service yet. They are some of the new additions in there that will be added in the next couple of weeks. So you can obviously get the entire portfolio and basically trade it similar to what I've just shown you here. And you should also get some similar results. So that is the best way to do it. Put them all in one account, because if you have one, or if you have 2 of the currencies that are running away, as either the gold, or as you could see here, the US dollar will go the opposite way of the gold normally, then the rest of them will still keep the account stable, and the drawdowns with a bigger account, it takes a lot more effort to basically break it, and that's the reason why we are setting it up like this. Now for Expert Forex and Alex, he also has a couple of videos this week, and this is the RSI hook entry technique. Again, we are talking about the Liberator version, but this one is the sister of the Wave Liberator, so this is the RSI Liberator, and this is also one that we are currently expanding on, so we will be trading this one in the next couple of months. Definitely also because it has just a different entry level compared to the Wave Liberator, but everything else is set up in the same way. So very, very easy once you have the other settings, especially on the grid sizing and lot sizing, then you very quickly are ready to run with the RSI. Alex has also made a video this week, how to enjoy a 500 to 1 leverage and the 5-digit position. Basically what he's talking about here is the Pamm account, and Alex has been so nice enough here also to mention my name a few times in that particular video here, mentioning to his community, so the Expert Forex Forum and everybody else who's listening to his YouTubes, that we have set up a Pamm account, and also some of the experience that we have in the past. So you can obviously go and watch that video, and you can go and have a look at our website to see exactly how things are developing. We try to be very, very open and show you as much as we possibly can with our trading. And obviously this Alex is also doing, especially on how you have to set it up and how the results are coming in. You can see it's very similar on the graph as I've shown you here also today. Now this is the drawdown secret. This is also, but this for the new EA, this is the Edge EA. So it works slightly different. So compared to the Wave and the RSI versions, but again, it has also a grid section in here, but is simply doing hedging on top of that. Very, very interesting. and he's basically trying to explain to you exactly on how you can limit some of the drawdowns you have in here. And that's pretty much what we have in this particular news report. So again, I just want to remind you, our Pamm account, it is up and running. It has been already now trading for 5 days, and obviously we continue to expand on this one, and we'll show you a lot more here in the future. But until then, that's it for the news report for this particular week. I hope you're going to follow us again next week, and hopefully I will also find a bit of time where I will show you some of the details and information later on of what is happening with our Pamm account, how it is developing, and both the pros and cons within itself. So until then, I hope to see you on one of my next videos. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.